Each one kind of has a special skill set. They can all get the job done, and it's created good competition in that room. We don't really have a set plan. We're going to go with the hot hand and see who practices better and go from there. But it's definitely made them all better competing every day.
As a follow-up, I asked DeMarcus the other night if he had any sense during the week that Saturday night was going to be his night, so to speak, and he said honestly no. Was that just a case where he seemed to be in a good rhythm? And
yeah, he did. He was the hot hand. He was running the ball well. The week before it was Tazon, and so whoever is on and doing their job effectively we're going to ride.
Hey, Coach, can you kind of break down why you're having so much success in the red zone? I mean, last year that was a big problem, not just with the kicking game, but also punching it in. This year, I believe it's 25 touchdowns and like 29 attempts or something like that.
Yeah, I don't have an answer other than that was an off-season emphasis and a focus after we were disastrous there, last in the country last year, and a lot of that's on me. The play call and play design down there. So we've emphasized it as a team, as a coaching staff, did some off-season projects on it, and so far it's paying off. I mean, we got to continue to get better there, but we've made some improvements.
Hey, my bad. It was actually 21 out of 29, which is still remarkable. Speaking of the new coaching staff that Don brought up, Coach Johns, Coach McGuire, just how does that work in concert, and what have they brought to the offense?
They've done a great job. Both have been different places and had a lot of success at those other places, so they've kind of mixed their thoughts with what we were doing here already, and you can see in some of the run game we're being more effective in certain areas, and that's a credit to those guys and what they're seeing on game day and during the week and during their film study. So I think everybody's working well together on game day. I like the information we're getting, and we just have to, as a group, continue to get better. How does
that, without obviously giving too much away, how does that work, the communication with Coach Johns and you and the whole staff on game day?
Yeah, we got, Coach McGuire up in the box, Coach Johns is up in the box, and they're watching from up there and talking through things in between, plays in between series, and then getting me information of what we like, what we don't like between series, and so that's kind of how it goes.
In a conference with so many talented quarterbacks year by year, what makes Will Grier so special?
Yeah, I think his maturity. He's obviously very talented, great arm, very poised, great pocket presence. He'll be one of the top guys taken this year and should be. And then, he's got a family, he's married. He's a mature, kind of like an NFL player already. I was hoping he would have left last year, but he's stuck around and is playing through the roof. But you can tell he's mastered that system. He knows it inside and out, has a great mentor there in Jake Spavital. And so he's one of the best in the country, no question, and playing at a really high level.
Coach, the defense last week started off a little slow and then settled in the rest of the game against a team like West Virginia, where a strong start for the defense will be key with how powerful their offense really is. What kind of differences do you think you'll see from the defense this week to make sure you can keep them off the board early so they don't get a big lead early?
Yeah, that'll be an emphasis. That's a group, once they get hot, they're hot, and they have so many weapons on the outside. Three great running backs that rotate through. So we're going to have our hands full, but we'd like to start faster than we have the last couple weeks.
Back to the run game, Coach. Is the success of those other guys helping you guys wait on getting Trey and DeLeon back in, or is that specifically just injury related with those guys?
Yeah, I think it makes you feel more comfortable with the current situation. You want all five to be healthy and be active and be ready to go. And like I said, it just creates competition day to day, which is what makes everybody better. But we like to have all five back and healthy. I think the emergence of those young guys, seeing that they can handle it on Saturday, has been great for our entire team and particularly that room.
Any update on Trey and DeLeon for this week?
They'll be game time decision. They've been limited so far, and we'll see if they're ready to go Saturday.
Coach, can you just speak to what Jadion's been able to do, especially on third down for you? Is it a matter of, I know it's not what he'd like in terms of the longness of his career, but it seems like he's seen a lot of football, played a lot of football, and it's more like a feel thing for him now.
Yeah, there's a comfort level there. I think with the quarterback, he knows, Jadion's going to be where he's supposed to be and doing it right and executing at a high level. And so there's been some big third downs, some third and longs that I think he's kind of locked on him, and Jadion's made a play for him. And that's just trusting your receiver. You got a 6-year guy who does everything right, always has earned everything he's got, and he's going to be where he should be, and he's going to make the play for you.
With y'all's emphasis on finishing games this year, do you use last year against West Virginia as a teaching method?
No, we don't talk too much about last year. You know, the biggest thing we've talked about were, I think we had 16 penalties for 160 yards, and that you're not going to beat anybody doing that. So that's really the only point you've touched on. We got to play a much cleaner game against this team to have a chance.
Having players like Will Grier and Sims and different guys like that, whenever you look at trying to slow them down, is one of the main emphasis trying to not give up big plays, then those big shots down the field. What's a main emphasis to keep the game a little low scoring on their end?
Yeah, I think that's an area we have to improve. We've given up some big plays this year, and they're a high-powered, quick strike offense. So you know that's coming. You know they're going to take their shots to Stills and Sims and Jennings and everybody else they got. So we're definitely aware of that. We'd like to limit those big plays and make them earn whatever they're going to get.
The last 2 weeks, it seems like the team has gotten stronger as the game has gone along and the opponent has worn down. What do you attribute that to?
I hope, our off-season focus on finishing. Coach Witt does a tremendous job with our strength and conditioning program, and that was what it was all about, was finishing. And so hopefully that has helped some.
Is Bowman better right now than you expected he would be at this point?
It's hard to say. We'll see how this thing goes, but his level of maturity thus far as a true freshman, I don't know if I've seen one handle it like this so far, but we got a long way to go. We got the heart of our schedule. We got a great team coming in here, but he's handled things very maturely, from practice-wise through his preparation to on Saturdays. That's what I've been impressed with. There's things we can do better. We had some bad throws, bad reads last week, but just the mindset, the preparation, and the focus each day for a young guy, it's been impressive.
I obviously couldn't read lips, but it looked like you were letting him have it after that first interception, and he seemed pretty calm. Was he pretty calm after?
Yeah, he's got a lot from me since he got here in the spring, and that's we're hard on those freshmen at that position. Just how we coach him here, and he handles it well. He doesn't blink and he doesn't hesitate. The next throw he's going to come back and cut it loose, and that's what you want. That's the one quality that you can't teach in people is if you make a mistake, can you go back out there and cut it loose? And he does that.
And then finally, big win, obviously monumental victory last week. But then, how important is it to build on it for it not just to be like a one-time deal here where you have a big monumental victory? How important is it to build on that?
Yeah, that's where you want to be. You want to make sure that that was 1-0 in conference, and we're trying to go 1-0 this week, and that's the focus, and we want to get better. And I think our team understands that. They know what's coming to town. It's a top 10 football team, and at home, great opportunity, and we got to get 1 week better.
This team was forcing a lot of turnovers, a bunch of games around. Then Houston didn't force one, but then against Oklahoma State they had 2. Have you seen a reemergence there? What have you really seen from the defense as far as turning the ball over?
Yeah, not where we wanted to be just yet. The one was on special teams, and Fry made a great interception, but we want to get the ball out more. And I think it'll come. These guys are doing the right things. They're working at it, but it hasn't come in bunches like it did last year.
Coach, was last year against West Virginia the first time y'all saw that 3 double cloud defense, and how much more prepared do you?
No, it wasn't.
A guy like David. Sorry?
Make it a good one. What do you think about it?
David Sills, again, I know you mentioned him a little bit briefly. What makes him so explosive when watching film about him?
He reminds me of Mike Evans with his size and physicality. You watch him punishing defenders down the field. That's what Mike did when we coached him at A&M. Never takes a playoff, explodes off the ball every rep, and that's, to me, what separates him. He's a big physical presence. Having his quarterback background, I think, really helps him in his route running, and those guys be on the same page, but he does not take a play off. Whether it's the run game, the pass game, that guy's going full speed every single rep, and that was a quality that Mike had that is why he's one of the top guys in the NFL right now.
Making me work for it today.
Hey, Coach, with the bye week coming up, are you thinking about making a trip to Denver to see your 2 proteges, Patrick Mahomes and Case, square off?
No. I hope I can stay awake that long to watch it on TV. But that'll be fun. Those are 2 awesome human beings, 2 of my favorite people of all time, and glad to see them both having success.
Hey, Coach,
There's been some pregame altercations between us and West Virginia in the past. What are you telling your players to try to avoid not being baited into one of those again?
Yeah, we don't want to do that. That's not who we want to be. Last year was unfortunate. The year before was unfortunate, and we're going to make sure that that doesn't happen this year. We want to sell it on the field and not get into that.
Cliff, following up on something that Jared asked a moment ago, after that interception, obviously the cornerback made a heck of a play, but what was it that Allen did not do right at that? What were you communicating to him?
Yeah, just going through your reads. It probably wasn't a very good play call. We ran the same play back to back, and they rolled coverage. They changed coverage, and he hung on his first read instead of getting to a second read. And so I was just talking about seeing the safeties and playing at a better level and a higher level, and that he's too good to make that type of mistake.
Would have had him throw to a different receiver then on that?
That was the deal. And it was a pretty simple read, 1-2, and he knew it. He just locked onto the guy and kind of guessed what was going to happen instead of actually seeing it happen.
And on TJ, what is his status for this week?
Yeah, we'll see. We're hoping he can play, but he'll be a game-time decision as well. He's been limited so far.
Did he hurt that late in the game? Because I didn't even notice him.
He did. I'm not sure which play, but he finished the game, and then it kind of started bothering him the next day.
Going back and watching that game on DVR the other night, the announcers were real complimentary of just your game plan and play calling, and noticed that you used a lot of kind of misdirection and motion. And was that to kind of nullify their aggressiveness since they had all those sacks and tackles for losses?
Yeah, I mean, we try to be creative every week and attack areas we see that we can take advantage of. But, yeah, they were a hard-charging defense. They chased the ball hard, and so, we felt like we could do some things that may have them overrun stuff.
Anything else?
Coach, you said on Sunday that wasn't the best game that this team could play. What does that best game look like from your perspective? Is it just straight points? Is it yardage? Is it what does that look like for you?
Yeah, we'll see when it happens. We turned the ball over a couple times. 1 second down on the 5-yard line that you can't do going in. Had a few, fewer penalties, which helped, but you gave up some big plays still. So we're still kind of searching for who we are. But that was a step in the right direction, being able to finish that game and come out of the second half, make those adjustments as a team, and do what we need to do to win the game.
Best game your team has played in the last 2 years, is that as close as they have gotten in the last 2 years to playing their best game?
I'm not sure. I mean, it varies each game based on your opponent, who you're playing, what's going on. But I just know there are areas that we can be a lot better at based on the talent we have and what I think we can become.
That's great. It's a really good feeling. I love it, being with the team again. We're pretty hot right now, so it's been a lot of fun. It's been a good experience so far.
Coach Kingsbury just said, they played a full game, but you guys aren't playing the best football that he thinks that you can. Just from your perspective and being able to watch the offense and the defense, what do you think? Where do you think that we're at?
I think we're doing really good. I think we're pretty, we're rolling really good right now. Everyone's playing their butt off, playing hard for each other. It's something we haven't seen here in a while, so it's been really good. Including myself, I haven't had the best game yet either. So hopefully just keep getting better. This week will be perfect and play a really good team.
Are you able to just clear your mind at this point and not have to worry about, when I step down, is something going to happen or anything like that?
Oh, yeah. The pressure's all gone as far as injury. All I'm thinking about now is making the next kick. And that's, that's all we're worried about is this weekend, making that first extra point or first field goal, whatever it is. So.
Clayton, seems like you've had quite a few touchbacks this year, also fair catches with the new kickoff rule. How have you felt about just what you have done on kickoffs?
So far on kickoffs, it's been a little inconsistent. We've been trying to go for touchbacks mostly lately. It's been really good. It's helped me a few times. I hit the ball to the goal line, but thankfully, I've been hitting it high enough that the fair catch rules help me out some, so our team can get down there and if I hit a bad ball or something like that, they can kind of bail me out by calling fair catch. So it's kind of, you got to have luck on your side, I guess, depending on what the team does. But it's interesting. It makes the game a little bit faster, I think. Not as hard on the guys. I know the guys really like the new rule. It helps. If I don't hit a good ball, they still fair catch it, so that way they get some rest.
Have y'all talked also about, especially with the number of fair catches that return men have been doing, possibly changing strategy sometimes just to kick the ball high, not necessarily worry about touchbacks, but hey, if you kick it high just to the 5-yard line, it's going to make it tough for the return man.
Yeah, that's our goal each week. Coach tells me I work on hitting it to the 5 or deeper with good hang time, at least 4 seconds of hang time. That gives us enough time to get inside the 30-yard line, make a play, hopefully tackle him inside the 15 like we did a couple times last weekend. And so that's where the rule is kind of iffy. You kind of get the return team question whether or not he's going to fair catch it or not, because if he's staying on the goal line and he's looking up, you don't know what's going on. So it's to our advantage both ways, whether he fair catches it or not.
Noticed going into last week that you and Matt Amendola were tied for 5th among active kickers in the nation in career field goal percentage. Of course, he missed one and had his streak of 18 in a row snapped. Mm-hmm. When you're a kicker, obviously you want your team to win, but do you sympathize with other kickers?
Oh, yeah. I always want them to do good. I know a few guys around the league, and it sucks because there's so much pressure on our spot. I don't want us to win a game because the kicker sucks. But at the same time, you're kind of rooting for him to. You want him to do good, but at the same time, you don't want him to do too good, so that way we win. But you don't want him to do bad. So that's kind of a tricky spot when you're playing against other kickers.
It seems like you're back in the groove, obviously on field goals. What happened on the one that you missed the other night?
I just pulled it a little bit. I think my alignment was just a little bit left, and I just kind of came outside the ball a little bit. It was just kind of late in the game. I guess we're practicing this week kind of the scenario that we were in, waiting, timeout, penalty, back it up, just kind of being ready at all times. That was on me not being ready for that field goal. I should have just, stepped up there and kicked it like nothing was going on.
Mentally, what's the process for you for not allowing one missed field goal to kind of start rolling the rock downhill?
You just got to think about it as, you're going to get more opportunities. We got a lot more games left, got a lot more chances in the red zone and extra points. I had an extra point afterwards that really kind of boosted me back up, but then the kickoff out of bounds kind of sucked. But, it's really good. You just got to have the mindset, I missed this one, the next one I'm going to make. There's no way I'm going to miss the next one. So.
Unfortunately, you brought it up. Kicking the ball out of bounds. It's been one in at least the last 3 games. What's causing that? Is it just trying to angle it too much? Is it not getting the right foot on it? What's been the factor in those?
Just later in the game, you just kind of get a little tired, try to put a little extra behind it. Everybody gets all excited, and it's just like, go kick this one really hard, and I just kind of get in my own head. I just got to be able to kind of let everything go, what everybody tells me, and just go out there and do my job. Mentally, thankfully we've been able to get away with it, but mentally, I need to finish games, just like our team's been preaching all year, finishing, and, that comes down to my position as well.
And it wasn't all you last year, but it was similar problem last year I think it was 8 times last year that the team total kicked it out of bounds on the kickoff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's there's a lot of pressure to pin him deep in that corner. With the new rule, you can get away with it. We're not one to hit it to the hash on the goal line like I did last week where, they fair caught it and they returned a couple. But our target box is about 5 yards outside the numbers either side and 5-yard line deeper. And so that's kind of like our target every time with at least 4 seconds of hang time. So if we, if we can do that, we think whether or not they return it, we're going to have a good shot of get them inside the 20 or 25.
It felt really good. Just sitting in the training room all first 3 weeks of the season, just kind of rehabbing, getting my shoulder back right to where I needed to be to play. It was kind of overwhelming, but it felt really good. Like I said, the guys were excited to have me out there. I was excited to run around with them as well.
I feel like you learned about being a leader in those first 3 games? Obviously, you're not able to be out there on the field and do what you do, but your teammates still need you to be a voice for them on the sideline.
Yeah, I actually realized that my voice carries a lot of weight, so I mean, that was nice to see. I mean, that was kind of a challenge that the coaches have put on me to speak up and be more of a vocal leader, and I took that challenge and ran with it. And the guys listened, and they stayed positive and did what I said.
Coach Dewhurst was talking to you guys on the sideline in the first half about how important it was to get off the field on 3rd down, and in the second half they had to punt the ball away 5 times in the game, and they weren't able to convert at all in the second half. Can you just speak to the strength of this defense to be able to make those adjustments and to be able to get off the field?
Yeah, we've all played a lot of games, so I mean, we know how to adjust pretty well. We went into halftime and did a lot of things on the board that we can do to correct ourselves. We knew we wanted to take away the inside and make them throw the ball over our heads a little bit. And you see Fry made a good play on the ball later in the game. So those are kind of the things we wanted to do. We knew that if they couldn't throw it around the middle of the field, that we had a good chance of defending the deep ball. So that was good on our part.
Everyone was talking about you being such a vocal leader in those first 3 games that you were out. Now you were able to be that leader, but also on the field. How much more do you get to help out this defense on the field as opposed to being on the sideline when it comes to just kind of giving them instructions and confidence?
I think I play with a lot of emotions, so I try to keep everyone up in good spirits, no matter what happens the play before. And I line everyone up, and I mean, I just go after it, play fast and play physical. So, like I said, the guys were excited about that, to have me back, and I was excited as well.
Looking at West Virginia, a little bit of a great offense coming here to the Jones. What improvements you guys have to make defensively, not only just to match up with them, but just in general?
We just got to get the ball out. We stress turnovers every day. We haven't had many so far, but we know if we get off the field on 3rd downs and just keep punching and stripping at the ball, it'll finally come out, or it'll come out eventually, and just give our offense a chance to win the game at the end.
Deshaun, for you, I guess, when did you finally know you were cleared, and I guess what was that feeling like? Because I know obviously it was a long time waiting for you.
I actually practiced during the Houston week, and they were just telling me that I was going to get a chance next week, see how I feel throughout the week, just keep my head down and grind. And I just got to give a lot of credit to our training staff for what they've done this past, 3 or 4 weeks, for getting me prepared. And the coaches as well, just keeping me kind of calm and making sure I know what I'm doing when I get out there.
Obviously, you probably didn't do much contact. I guess when did you finally get your first contact, and what was that like for you?
During the Houston week, I practiced with the young guys. On Thursdays, they kind of scrimmage once the travel squad goes in to lift weights. So I practiced with them, and I mean, I just did the whole scrimmage pretty much and just got my feet wet a little bit.
Do you feel like last weekend's win was kind of a validation for the defense, or I guess how would you kind of, describe that victory for y'all?
I mean, we knew we were capable of playing good defense. We had a lot of guys come back, a lot of experience. The first 3 weeks weren't acceptable for us, so we knew it was time to step up and do what we had to do to win the game. So, I mean, that was a great step in the right direction, and we'll just keep going forward from here.
Was there a feeling out process those first couple plays against OSU, or you just naturally fit back in from the jump?
It was a good feeling, but I mean, I think everyone that got in there done a great job before me, before I came and got some playing time. They done a great job the first 3 weeks. But yeah, like I've been saying, everyone was excited to have me back, and I was excited too. So I didn't miss a beat, I felt.
Is there a focus against a high-powered offense like West Virginia that they're going to come out, swinging pretty early to not give them anything early just to get off to a fast start for you guys?
Yeah, we know that they have a great quarterback, a lot of great skill guys coming back from the last year. He threw the ball over our head a lot last year, and we're expecting him to do the same this year. He has a strong arm. Like I said, they got great playmakers on the outside, so he's going to give them a chance. We just got to be there to defend the plays and eliminate the explosives.
Is that one of the main focuses? Is those deep passes, or what's there's obviously a lot of things that offense does, but what's one of the main things you guys want to limit or take away? Is it the deep pass?
Yeah, if we eliminate explosive plays and make them drive the field, great things will happen. I mean, it's hard to stop a high-powered offense like that, but if you can just keep making them snap the ball play after play, I mean, we have a better chance than letting them go 60 or 70 on one play.
You've covered most of those guys the past few years. What makes a guy like David Sills so difficult to cover, and Jennings as well?
He's a former quarterback, so he just has a natural connection with that quarterback. He knows where he needs to sit in zones, and he knows how to get open on man-to-man coverages. He's a big guy. He's physical. He's strong. He blocks well. He runs his routes well. I mean, he just has a total package. So we'll do a great job of covering him, try to stay tight to him, and do whatever we can to limit what he does.
Just on the shoulder that you just had to operate on, was that the same shoulder or the
opposite?
The opposite.
Yes,
okay. The fact that you guys shut them out in the second half, do you attribute that to any adjustments that y'all made at halftime, or did y'all just play a better game in the second half and execute, or did y'all just execute your original game plan a little bit better?
Yeah, we had a few adjustments. Like I said, we wanted to take away the inside a lot, force them to throw it over the top. We fit some runs up better than we did in the first half, so we limited that a little bit. But yeah, we're a lot tighter to coverage in the second half than we were in the first, and it showed.
And how much do you think y'all's effectiveness in the second half? Of course, I know that you guys have finished has kind of been your mantra this offseason. How much of it also is conditioning and the depth that your team has?
I think we were well conditioned. That's a credit to Coach Witt and his staff. We run every Tuesday after practice, and practice is high tempo every day. So we condition pretty much each play. So yeah, I think we're in good shape all around, and it definitely shows later in the game.
Also, of course, NFL Films has some funny videos, a lot of funny videos of things that players say when they're mic'd up. And this morning we were asking Preston what it's like to have Jashawn back out there, and he said that they can always hear you. What would we think if we heard you mic'd up during a game?
Oh, goodness. It would be all right. It'd just be kind of hard to keep it PG sometimes, but that'd be a lot of fun.
Player that you've gone up against that is a good match for you in trash talking?
I would have to say Baker. I mean, he was a pretty good trash talker, I would say. But I mean, everyone knows that. But he backs it up. He's a great player. There's a lot of guys. I mean, it's an intense game, nonstop. So, I mean, just about everyone. There's a lot of linemen that do a lot of dirty trash talking.
With how many returning guys this West Virginia team has at those skill positions, does it look about the same as what you saw last year? Have they made any big adjustments offensively?
Not many. This is just about the same. Their receivers have improved a lot. They run great routes. They catch the ball, and they can make guys miss in space. And they can turn a 5-yard route into an 80-yard touchdown. So we got to do a great job of rallying to the ball, making sure we're wrapping up and getting them down, and just, like I said, keep making them snap the ball.
A lot of times the turnovers come in bunches and everything. After not getting any against Houston, then 2 last week, where do you think the defense is right now as far as forcing more of those and just giving your offenses more chances and getting their offense off the field?
I mean, we're right there. There's some balls that are coming out late. Guys are bobbling a few of them. I mean, they'll come, and it'll be pretty contagious when it comes. I mean, they'll just start rolling in. So, we'll keep doing our turnover drills on Wednesdays right before practice starts, and we'll just keep punching and stripping at it on Saturdays as well.
Hey, Jashawn, first time beating OSU at home since, I believe, 2001 when Coach was quarterback. First time beating them at all since 2008. What was the mood in the locker room after you guys had won?
Oh, it was very exciting, man. Everyone was in great spirits. We knew it was a long time coming. We wanted to do whatever we had to do to win that game. And, I mean, hopefully we'll keep it rolling from here. But we got to put that one past us now. I mean, we know we have a big challenge coming up this weekend.
A big challenge being West Virginia this weekend. We've had a couple of altercations in pregame. As a captain on the defense, what are you going to do to try to avoid those this year?
I mean, emotions are very high. I mean, I can only say so much. I mean, guys are going to do what they do. I mean, it's just you just got to be able to control it, make sure no one throws any punches or anything like that. I mean, that's just part of competition, and we know it's going to be an intense matchup, and I don't know. So we'll just see how it goes and try to keep everyone under control.
The best game that you guys could play. Two-part question. How close was it for what you expect the best game looks like for you and for the defense? And what does that best game look like for you?
Well, in the first half, we kind of let some runs squeak out here and there. We gave up, I think, 2 or 3 third and long situations. So we got to be able to limit that to 0. And just keep playing we got to play clean as always. I think we only had 2 or 3 penalties maybe, so that was an improvement from the weeks past. But yeah, the perfect game would be to shut everyone out. So I mean, I don't think we've got there yet. We had one against Lamar, but to do it in conference will be huge for us. So we'll just keep fighting for that.
Preston said y'all emphasize finishing games as a defense. What'd you learn about finishing from that game against West Virginia last year?
We learned a lot, man. We were up, I think, 17 maybe, and those guys just kept chomping back in it. And they got a lot of playmakers, so that quarterback can throw the ball up, and any of them can go get it. So we'll just have to try to choke them out when we have a chance, and just do our part every play or snap of the game.